What up, YouTube? It's your favorite bean eating mofo, fresh off the banana boat. Big Lou tapping in with what it do with Big Lou NFZR2. Baby, baby. If this is the first time you're coming to the channel at What It Do with Big Lou NFZR2, it'd be highly appreciated if you sub, liked, and shared the channel with your family, friends, folks, gente, peoples, camaradas, comrades, associates, asocios, amigos, buddies, pals, panas. And also feel free to comment. I respond back to all the comments. So this is going to be a continuance of my sports profiles. And as you can see from the thumbnail, it's Paul Molitor and Robin Yount. And excuse me, they were former teammates for the Brewers, and then eventually Paul Molitor went off to play with other teams and continued to add on to his success and his statistics in Major League Baseball. Excuse me. So Paul Molitor was born Paul Leo Molitor on August 22nd, 1956. He's nicknamed Molly, Molly, and the Igniter. As we know, he's American, former MLB baseball player, and also a former manager of the Minnesota Twins. He played 21 seasons. He played with the, excuse me, the Milwaukee Brewers from 1978 to 1992. And at this time, Milwaukee Brewers were in the American League. Now they're in the National League. Then he played for the Toronto Blue Jays 93, 94, 95. And then the Minnesota Twins 96, 97, 98. He's known for his exceptional hitting and speed. He made he currently ranks 10th on the all-time Major League Baseball hits list with 3,319 hits. He's only one of 5 players in history with 3,000 plus hits, a lifetime average of 300, and 500 career stolen bases. So he's a infielder and a DH. Excuse me. And he's born in St. Paul, Minnesota. He batted right and threw right. He made his debut on April 7, 1978 for the Milwaukee Brewers, and his last game was September 27, 1998 for the Minnesota Twins. Here's some of his career statistics. Batting average, he's a .306 lifetime hitter. Like I already mentioned, he had 3,319 hits, 234 home runs, 1,307 runs batted in, 504 stolen bases. As a manager, he was 305 and 343 with the winning percentage of 47. He managed the Twins from 2015 to 2018. Here's some of his career highlights and awards. He's a 7-time All-Star, 1980, 85, 88, 1991, 1992, 1993, 1994. World Series champion, 1993. World Series MVP, 1993. 4-time Silver Slugger Award winner, 1987, 88, 93, and 96. AL Manager of the Year, 2017. His number 4 is retired by the Milwaukee Brewers. He's on the American Family Field Walk of Fame. He's in the Milwaukee Brewers Wall of Honor. And he's a Major League Baseball all-time team member. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2004 with 85% of the vote in his first ballot. So like I mentioned, he was born in St. Paul, Minnesota. He graduated from Creighton High School. He was selected the 28th round of the 74 Major League Baseball draft as a pitcher by the St. Louis Cardinals. He opted instead to attend college at the University of Minnesota, where he was a 3-year starter for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Molitor earned All-American honors as a shortstop, for his sophomore year. Between his sophomore and junior seasons, he suffered a broken jaw. With his jaw wired shut for 8 weeks, he lost 40 pounds. After his junior year in college, the Brewers selected Molitor in the first round with the 3rd overall selection in the 1977 Major League Baseball draft. He signed with the Brewers and began his professional career with the Class A Burlington Bees of the Midwest League. In 64 games with Burlington, Molitor hit for .346, 8 home runs, 50 runs batted in, and 14 stolen bases. Here we go. This is some of what he did with the Milwaukee Brewers from 1978 to 1978 to 92. Excuse me. Molitor began as a shortstop, then moved to second base when Robin Yount returned from a brief injury. He made his major league debut in 1978, excuse me, playing in 125 games and hitting .273 with 6 home runs, 45 RBIs, and 30 stolen bases. In 1981, he spent time at center field and right field to avoid the injuries associated with infield play. Molitor was moved to third base before the 82 season. Molitor was part of the young Milwaukee Brewers team that lost the 82 World Series in 7 games to the St. Louis Cardinals. Molitor batted .355 during the series. In Game 1, he had 5 hits, a World Series record. During the 82 season, he hit .302 and led the American League with 136 runs scored. On May 12th, he hit 3 home runs against the Royals in a 9-7 loss. Excuse me. Between 1980 and 86, he was on the disabled list 6 times. In 84, Molitor struggled with elbow problems, played in only 13 games, and was ultimately underwent surgery in an attempt to salvage his career. He played in 140 games in 85, hitting .297 with 10 home runs and 48 RBIs. He followed that with .281, 9 home runs, and 55 RBIs in 86. That year, he suffered a hamstring injury, returned for a few days, then re-injured it. He played in 105 games that season. So there's early on, those first 10 seasons, he was injury prone. He had a lot of injuries, and to still bounce back and have the career numbers that he had is pretty darn good. In 87, he attracted a lot of media attention because he went on a 39 game hitting streak. And as everybody knows, that record that Joe DiMaggio had, a 56 game hitting streak. I don't think that'll ever be broke. Near the end of the streak, columnist Mike Downey wrote that the amazing thing about Paul Molitor's recent bad-orama is not that he has hit in 33 straight games, but that he has played in 33 straight games. Because like I mentioned, he had a lot of injuries. He was very injury-prone the first 10 years of his career. The streak ended with Molitor in the on-deck circle when Rick Manning got a game-ending hit to beat the Indians on August 26, 87. Fans booed Manning for driving in the winning run, thus depriving Molitor of one last chance to reach 40 games. The streak stands as the 5th longest in modern-day baseball history and remains the longest since Pete Rose's 44-game hit streak in 1978. And then he ended up moving on to the Brewers, the Blue Jays, 93-95, where he ends up winning this ring, and he started taking off offensively big time there. I'm not going to talk about that because the fact it was in the 90s, and I'm sticking to the 80s with these profiles. Now, Robin Yount, excuse me, was born Robin R. Yount on September 16, 1955, nicknamed the Kid and Rockin' Robin. He played his entire 20-year career for the Milwaukee Brewers at shortstop and center field. He's born on September 16, 1955 in Danville, Illinois. He batted right and threw the right. He made his debut on April 5, 1974 for the Milwaukee Brewers. His last game was on October 3rd, 93 for the Milwaukee Brewers. He's a .285 lifetime hitter with 3,142 hits, 251 home runs, 1,406 runs batted in. He's a 3-time All-Star, 1980, 82, and 83. He's a 2-time AL MVP, 82 and 89. Golden Glove Award in 82, 3-time Silver Slugger Award, 80, 82, 89. His number 19 is retired by the Milwaukee Brewers. He's a American Family Field Walk of Fame and also the Milwaukee Brewers Wall of Honor. He was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1999 with 77.5% of the vote. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And let me make something clear too. 3,000 hits is a milestone in baseball, as well as 500 home runs. So if you got 500 home runs and 3,000 hits, it's like pretty much if you hit 500 home runs, you're going to make the Hall of Fame. If you hit 3,000 hits, you're going to make the Hall of Fame. If you do them both, you're awesome. If you got 300 wins back in the day, 300 wins, 3,000 strikeouts, stuff like that will put you in. Now with the pitchers, things change a lot because they're trying to save guys' careers and manage their innings pitched because of the injuries, shoulder injuries and such. But there's only 33 players in baseball history that hit 3,000 home. That's hit 3,000 hits or more. And I believe there's only five guys that's hit 3,500 hits or more. And that's Pete Rose and Ty Cobb have over 4,000 hits. And then you have Tris Speaker, Stan Musial, and I believe there's one more. So his early life, he was born in Danville, Illinois. He lived briefly in Covington, Indiana. Then his family moved to Southern California when he was an infant. His father got a job testing rocket engines with Rocketdyne, and Robin attended William Howard Taft High School in Woodland Hills. Okay, so he was picked third pick overall in the June 1973 Major League Draft, one slot ahead of fellow Hall of Famer and 3,000 hit club member Dave Winfield. Yount made his Major League debut the following April at 18 years old. After going hitless in his first 4 games, Yount hit a game-winning home run in the 6th inning. Yount is currently the last 18-year-old to hit a home run in the major leagues. Andrew Jones, Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, and Juan Soto are the most recent teenagers to have hit major league home runs, but did it so as 19-year-olds. On September 14, 1975, 2 days before his 20th birthday, Yount broke Mel Lott's 47-year record for most games played in the major league before turning 20. Yount courted controversy in the winter of 78. He threatened to retire from the game and take up professional golf rather than be underpaid or moved to the outfield by the Brewers. Early in the season, Paul Molitor was called up for the Brewers Class A affiliate to the major league team because of Yount's absence. Yount's demands were met, where he returned to the team. Molitor was moved from shortstop to second to make room for Yount. He was an early proponent of weight training, then uncommon in baseball, and by 1980, Yount's power hitting had improved, particularly for a shortstop. Yount was an all-star in 80, 82, and 83. No other Brewer was voted a starter in consecutive years until Ryan Braun started each year between 2008 and 11. 82 season, Yount led the American League with 210 hits in 82. The 82 East race was tied on the final day of the season, with the race coming down to the winner-take-all game between the Brewers and the Baltimore Orioles. With the title on the line, Yount hit home runs in each of his first 2 at-bats against Orioles starter Jim Palmer. Yount finished with a 4-hit game as the Brewers won 10-2. In addition to his only 200-hit season, he registered career highs with 29 home runs, 114 RBIs, and a .331 batting average, .001 ahead of league leader Willie Wilson. Behind Willie Wilson. Yount finished with a 5.578 slugging percentage and a .957 on OPS on his way to gaining 367 total bases, leading the major leagues in all 3 categories. His slugging percentage was the second highest ever by a shortstop, and his 129 run set the record for that position. See, that year he also won his only Golden Glove and his first MVP award. His performance gathered 27 or 28 possible first-place votes in the 82 MVP balloting. They lost the World Series that year to the Cardinals, but he batted .414 in the series with a home run and 6 RBIs. In 85, his shoulder problem forced Yount to move to the outfield. After splitting time between center and left field, Yount became the Brewers' regular center fielder in 86. played more than 1,200 games in the outfield in his career with a .990 fielding percentage. He made a game-ending diving catch to preserve a no-hitter by Juan Nieves early in the '87 season. Yount narrowly won a second MVP award in '89, making him only the third player to win MVPs at two positions, joining Hank Greenberg and Stan Musial. Alex Rodriguez would later join this group. Yount was the first AL player to win multiple MVP awards in over 25 years, since the Yankees' Roger Maris in '60 and '61, Mickey Mantle 57, 56, 57, and '62. Yount collected more hits, 1,731 in the decade of the '80s than any other player. Wow. After the '89 season, Yount was a free agent and he spoke with several teams about contract offers. The California Angels were prepared to make a serious offer, but Yount signed a 3-year contract with the Brewers worth $9.6 million in February of 1990. In '91, Yount was briefly on the disabled list with a kidney stone, only the second stint on the DL in his career. The first one was in '78. So that's a little bit about Robin Yount. And then he also did some coaching. He was the first base coach and bench coach for the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2002 to 2004. He resigned after the dismissal of Arizona manager Bob Brentley. He, Hank Aaron, Warren Spahn, and Bob Uecker threw out the ceremonial first pitches at the 2002 Major League Baseball All-Star Game at Miller Park. And then he became a bench coach with the Brewers in 2005. And then he did not come back for the 2007 season. And this is a little bit about his legacy. Yount is widely considered to be the greatest player in Brewers history. His 77.3 B WAR is 17 points higher than anyone else in franchise history. Yount is the only Brewer to win multiple MVP awards and one of two members of the franchise to reach 3,000 hits. Yount is also the Brewers' all-time leader in games, hits, at-bats, plate appearances, runs, doubles, triples, runs batted in, and walks. Yount remains a popular figure in Milwaukee and has made numerous appearances at Brewers on Deck, the team's annual preseason fan fest. Yount's number 19 is one of 6 numbers retired by the Brewers. His statue on the grounds of American Family Field is one of just 4 such statues erected by the Brewers. So that's a couple more profiles of baseball players that stuck out to me from the 1980s. Paul Molitor and Robin Yount, and they joined Dave Winfield, Kirby Puckett, Don Mattingly, Wade Boggs, and George Brett as the baseball profiles I've done thus far. I got a live set for a little bit here in about 20 minutes on the RICO Act, and I want to talk, see what people think about that RICO Act. Do you feel it's constitutional? Do you feel it's perfect? It's a perfect law that was voted in by Congress and introduced to Congress by Robert Blakely back in 1970. And just get a little input from people on what they believe about the act. With that being said, Big Lou's gonna go ahead and tap on out on this one. This was just a short, quick one on profiles of players from the 80s. And I appreciate each and every one that's gonna come and watch this video after it's uploaded. That being said, once again, Big Lou tapping out. What to do with Big Lou? Gone.